the organizers and my dear friends. I think I am the wrong person to be speaking to all of you, because prior to being in civil services, I was a doctor, and both of these jobs are the traditional jobs, the conventional jobs that we have. But there is an area on which I can shed some light upon, and that is what actually government can do for startups. And especially, I see the amount of miscommunication and lack of information that people have about the kind of benefits and the kind of schemes that government has for startups. So from our entrepreneur cell also, sir is here today. He will be telling you about some details that what government is doing for the startups in India. And I think when we talk of startups, we need to look at some of the peculiarities of startups. The first peculiarity is almost like this is totally based on statistics. 80 to 90% of them fail. So if you are scared of failure, well, sorry, startup is just not for you. It is a fact that 80 to 90% of you will fail. But then there is the part of risk taking, and that is where the role of government and other incubation centers come. And that is where we provide viability gap funding, the loans at concessional rates, and also a lot of tax exemptions. Can I ask all this gathering, how many of you know about Startup India? Can you just raise your hands? Startup India? No one has heard about it, it seems, from the backside. So this is the amount of misinformation or maybe lack of information that people have. In Startup India, any new startup that gets registered online, it is provided a 3-year of income tax holiday. You have to pay 0 income tax if you have registered online and your application is approved. It is a completely online process. You don't have to go anywhere. You have to register yourself and you have to claim your income tax benefit. These things are so important, especially at the start of any company. And when we talk of startup, I don't know how many of you know about the definition of startup. You always say startup. We will be speaking about startup for like 1,000 times today. But how many of you know about the actual definition of a startup? A startup is basically a scaling up of a already available technology or a completely new innovative technology and using that to bring about some improvement in the current functioning of the industries, be it manufacturing, be it services. Now Puducherry, when we say, why is it unique and why are we having this summit today? I joined as an assistant collector in the month of May last year, and it was my first posting. And as a first posting, I was very much curious that what is so special about Puducherry, especially being from Delhi. I wasn't much aware about it. Puducherry is basically an education hub. We have so many engineering and medical colleges, so many polytechnic colleges. But what is happening in Puducherry these days? People study, they do their B.Tech, they take their graduation, and then they move to Bangalore or Chennai. The reason is very simple, that the amount of facilities to start a new business or to get a good job in Puducherry is just not up to the expectations of the youth. When we are talking of startups, what we are seeing is not getting you the jobs, but you yourself creating the jobs. And I would like to give a personal example. Sir also gave a couple of inspiring examples. I would like to give a personal example. I was in a medical college. I was in AIMS, New Delhi, and my senior was there. He also got into civil services. He became an IAS officer. And 1 year after his civil service, he quit his job. We all were shell-shocked. That how this happened? This guy was studying for like 3 or 4 years for his civil services, and now he has got selected and now he has got into this service. He has just quit his job. The reason for quitting his job was that he was starting a startup to provide free education online through YouTube videos and through his website Unacademy. The name is Roman Saini, Dr. Roman Saini. And I don't know how many of you know about this, but this year he was selected Forbes 30 under 30 leading entrepreneurs of India. Now, having given that example, I don't mean to say that once you get into civil services, you should leave the service. Not at all. that is not the idea of giving you the example. The idea is that if you have a confidence in an idea, you should go for it. And what government and what can private sector do is basically provide you the cushion to take that risk. I would like to tell you also about after Startup India, there are a couple of other schemes that people just don't know. And the reason is we don't have a dedicated body of startups in Puducherry. We don't have something like a chamber of commerce, a pressure group which can actually be in communication with the government and can tell people that what is what and what is what. Today, after this event, I don't know how many of you will be actually making a startup, and of them 90% will be eventually failing and 10% will be succeeding. So maybe we'll get 1 or 2 successful startups from Puducherry. But the domino effect of these startups are so huge that they themselves will be spurring the economy and bringing about a change. So I wish all the best to all the organizers and all the people that who have come over here. And I would also like to say that while you are here, please use your time judiciously. Just don't sit here just because you have been told to. Especially the backbenchers I am asking, because I was a backbencher all my life. But you have to be interested, otherwise no need of wasting your time. Startup is all about showing your interest and having something to pursue for. And you can take inspiration from so many things around here. We have such great speakers speaking today, and the event is going to last till evening. So there is so much to learn about and so much to know. And also from the side of government, I wish that this idea of a dedicated pressure group of startups, a chamber of startups is started, so that they can actually be in touch with the government and arrange loans at low interest rate, provide income tax holiday to new startups, and provide incubation centers to these startups so that they can actually scale up. These summits will only help when we do bring some results. And I sincerely believe that we are going to have some very positive results out of this summit. All the very best to all of you. Thank you.